So last night I was thinking about being in this constant state of confusion, living a life in a constant state of confusion. I think that's a part of the plan, isn't it? When you reflect on the teachings of Gnosticism, which is something I really align with, it's the only thing I can think that fits um, philosophically to explain what is going on in this world right now. And my whole life to this point, it's the only sort of philosophy or explanation for what's gone on and how I can piece and identify and reconcile my whole life, which is just a really like just confusing sort of thing in itself. Like we always have to kind of like try to piece things together and get an answer and explain what's what's happened and how we fit in the world and our purpose. And um I've just always found that to be sort of my thing, is to like find the truth, the reason why. I need reason, I need truth. It's just never ending. So I pretty much have always been in this state of confusion. It just never ends. Even when I like think that I've figured something out, like 2 minutes later or a day later, I will just go back to being like confused about everything. I'm not sure if it's a condition of the matrix in saying that. Is that part of the calibration of the matrix to kind of like wipe your mind and to keep you in a state of amnesia? Um, Also, with amnesia, I think it affects the different soul types, fractal types differently. So the hylics, obviously, they're just in a constant state of memory wipe. Um, and then the psychos, I think they also are to some degree. Um, and they have the soul. Um, and then you have the pneumatic soul, the pneumatic spirit, which is um, more so what I attribute myself as being. And that means I do believe very strongly inside of myself, from looking inside, that I am from something outside of this existence. Perhaps it is the pleroma. I'm really, or some state of pleroma, um, where there is a higher source consciousness, um, to which I'm a fractal of, because I feel that pull. I feel when I reflect upon that internally, that that is the only thing that I've ever been able to identify with. And it's kind of the only constant state in terms of being in a state of confusion forever since I've been here. I think it's a condition of being within the earth matrix, is to be in a constant state of confusion, to never know who you are. I mean, you just have to look at the stimuli. It's so intense, it's so oversaturated, there's so much media on media and information on information. It's so loud and noisy. Everyone's talking at the same time, saying contradictory things. Everyone's being um, fake and gay and lying. And there's even people telling the truth, but that's all like drowned out by the noise of the lies. Because we're caught in psyop wars right now. That is very apparent. If you don't know, you've been asleep. And if you don't know, you're a normie and an NPC. and you're going to be defending your matrix and your mainstream news. And they, the normie types, love to talk about the news. I find even the ones that are caught between the realms of asleep and awakening, the psycho soul, um, they too tend to swing. Sometimes they feel the truth, and are compelled to see um, the blossoming of and the idea of this um, external consciousness, external state of being, um, perhaps even the journey back to the pleroma, which coincides with the Sophia myth. But they always revert back, I find. It's like they reset the next day. This amnesia washes them when they wake up in the morning, and they're back to defending the matrix. So they're kind of like 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. So it's really hard for them to kind of get ahead of the soul trap, where I think if you have a spirit, the pneumatic spirit, the matrix frequency that's put upon us is not as effective. It is to some degree, because it's super easy to question your reality every day, because you've also gone through this like MK Ultra brainwashing, which is the indoctrination of going through school and your parents raising you with their sort of preset beliefs of what society tells you should be. So they are constantly programming you from the day you are born, and then that's just reinforced throughout schooling to prepare you for 100% enslavement. Because that's the goal, is to keep us all enslaved. I've spent a lifetime just being confused. I still find I am confused daily, because it's a lot to comprehend, especially when you're constantly taking in what's going on and you've got no one to talk to about this, and there are no answers. There's no one to give you any answers of the truth, and you really do have to look within yourself, and your inside becomes your outside, as Yeshua says in the Gospel of Thomas. And it's really true. You have to really not identify and not try to identify with your external world by taking on roles that are designed to define you and to cut you off from looking within, um, which is so easy to do, because if you don't know, I don't think I've spoken about it. My background's in law, so I studied law. Law, it was kind of my life. Law is what identifies me. It's so easy for me to kind of go back into that mindset, because it's something I find safe. It was my only comfort through life. Going through the formulaic routine of studying law, was just the discipline of it. I just found was really therapeutic for me to cope when everything in my life was just so out of control. It gave me a lot of structure, and something that I don't have. Like I'm a really unaccountable kind of person. Um, Obviously, that's why I kind of just like gave up on everything, because I just don't agree with it anymore. It doesn't work for me. It's just one big lie. And so I just stopped. So what I was getting at with that is we shouldn't be defined by our roles, which is what we all sort of are supposed to be. Is like, everyone sort of like in society and organizes themselves into these organic collectives of the roles that we serve in society, and that is also hierarchical. Like, you're not going to find judges hanging out with cleaners or teachers hanging out with um, criminals. Do you know what I mean? There's like this very um, methodical sort of hierarchical structure to society. Like, rich people are not going to hang out with poor people. Actually, these are very Kabbalistic or Illuminati type stuff, isn't it? Well, actually, let me just say the whole world is filtered that way. It's kind of, there's this, apex, you have like the most elite few that rule the many. They have all the resources and they rule the many. And the many are just so subservient. And they don't really question anything because they're so bombarded by labor, to which that they are that resource for the very few. And most people are in debt and just working on surviving, which is every day is all about survival. The people that get comfortable within their middle class sorts of role, they just want more and more and materially focused. Everyone sort of works off this hive mind consensus reality. And I think once you step away from that, you do become somewhat confused and you can get caught in cycles of confusion. And it takes a long time to get out of that cycle of confusion. Like, I think it comes also with what Yeshua says, which I found really illuminating. If you're trying to get clarity, is read the Gospel of Thomas, because there is a kind of resonance to it and a magic to which the information unfolds, the knowledge, the blossoming of gnosis. The seeker does find. So it does reveal itself. And you're in this constant state of attaining information and learning. So then I guess the element of confusion still enters because you're using that to question your external reality. And I think the issue there is that you're not supposed to question your external reality anymore, because I don't think there's anything that we can do about it but sit back and just watch people be like narky, evil dicks. And the ones that kind of maybe do question it a tiny bit, well, they reset daily, don't they? So I don't even know how effective we can be against that, because there are few of us. Well, I think there's millions upon millions of us. It's just that we're scattered so far apart from each other to kind of penetrate and integrate with these people. But I don't think it worked out so well, because it's just like there seems to be some like energetic discrepancy there, because being around them, like that energy just becomes super hard to take over time. Like even living in proximity is too much. Like I have neighbors like seriously right next door. I can't really escape them, and I feel the energy of everyone. And it's just way too much. Like, I don't even like walking past people because I'm just super sensitive to it. Like shopping, I really can't take it. Um, and I find that I'm become really sensitive to it as the years go by. And um, I think inevitably we also come to this like solitude sort of mentality. We just want to break away from it and isolate ourselves. But the thing is, isolation is kind of like put upon us. I don't think that if I truly think about it, I don't feel that like I should be isolated and be apart from the world, but it's kind of been put upon me because I can't bear to be around them. I can't bear to hear some of the things that they say. Um, I do like the only thing I could handle is like talking to people about things I'm interested in, and the only thing that was a buffer for me was law. The only reason why I sort of like talking about that was because I'm talking about it with fellow like colleagues and my fellow peers, and there are boundaries and rules to that engagement, I guess. And also this like, various schools of thought, and you can see even they're affected by like the mainstream matrix consensus thought, because I mean that's our conditioning, that's our default, isn't it? But yeah, anyway, people are just really materially driven and really like to talk about the things that they are renovating and buying. Because I had friends like that, and I was friends with people like that for like a really, really, really long time. I just got rid of them. Like, I know it sounds like so disposable, but they didn't really notice. It just sort of fizzled out, and they continued on buying and hoarding more crap and getting up every morning, being a slave. I don't know how they have the energy to do it. It never beat them down. They're like energy robots. They just keep going and going. They thrive off that shit. Where like the opposite happens to me. I just like get really tired and worn out. Just really can't take it. Um, yeah. Anyway, so I just wanted to talk about that and being in that constant state of confusion. I think it's by design. It's definitely a condition of the matrix. Um, my thoughts on the matrix is that it is some type of um, energy frequency that's emitted. It's definitely some type of technology. I mean, you can look that stuff up. They have patents um, of these energy devices, the technology that they can use to um, control people, insert thoughts, control people's behavior, can pretty much get you to do anything. They're quite open about it. So yeah, look those patents up. They're definitely there. I have seen them. And anyway, that's kind of like all I want to say about that. And definitely read the Gospel of Thomas if you're um, trying to resonate with some text that aligns with your inner gnosis. Definitely triggers and brings some clarity towards escaping the soul trap. And it's really illuminating too that um, like Yeshua and his disciples were back in time, thousands of years ago, were also coming across this hive consensus, materially driven um, sort of society. And they also witnessed like the power struggle of authority, of the elite controlling the many, the few controlling the many. It seems to be the structural hierarchy in this realm. Anyway, have a look at that. And if you're in a state of confusion, like most of us are. Always look within and de-identify from the materialism of this world and connect back to the source, the pleroma. Just meditate on that, and yeah.